The New York Times published a hell of an Epstein story yesterday with images from inside his Manhattan townhouse and also a letter from the one and only Woody Allen that was very bizarre, compiled as so the director Woody Allen, the New York Times writes, described how the dinners at Epstein's house, this is a book for his 63rd birthday or a collection of letters that people sent in for his 63rd birthday, according to New York Times. You know what they say about the 63rd birthday? It's the letter birthday. Yeah, all your friends send you letters, even though they did that for your 50th birthday. So Allen described how dinners at Epstein's place reminded him of Dracula's castle, quote, where Lugosi has 3 young female vampires who service the place. He goes on, and this is again in a letter to Epstein on the occasion of his 63rd birthday, to describe one of the just most bizarre settings that you can imagine, where there's Chinese food buffets. Did you read this letter, Ryan?
I did not read the whole Woody Allen letter.
It's
I should read that, though.
I mean, there's nothing like huge in it. It's just him talking about the meager portion sizes in the Dracula castle in a very coy Woody Allen way. But the Times, of course, included, in addition to this letter, for Epstein's 63rd birthday, pictures from his credenza showing him with Pope John Paul II, Fidel Castro, Donald Trump, and a picture actually with Trump where Melania is cropped out. Bill Clinton, Larry Summers, Elon Musk, Richard Branson. So the image that you see is basically Epstein flaunting all of his famous wealthy friendships with different people. There's a picture with Epstein not in it. All of the pictures mostly are Epstein himself, and he's included in most of them, except for one that appears to be just Steve Bannon and Woody Allen. It's extremely strange. Other pictures of Epstein's upstairs residence. You see surveillance cameras peeking down at the bed.
First edition of Lolita.
First edition of Lolita on display.
Like not really doing much at all to try to hide his predilections.
Not at all.
No.
Not at all.
To advertise them.
Flaunting them in front of Woody Allen, by the way, who has his own questions over his
Whatever
own
you
head
think about what Woody Allen did, the public perception of Woody Allen is settled.
Right. Extremely weird stuff. Stuffed tiger also in the pictures. Just a really unsettling story from the New York Times. They're being very cagey about their sourcing on it. They won't say how they got these images, or even when they got the images, or where they're from. We know that Woody Allen letter is from the 63rd birthday collection, but it's sort of an interesting image dump, Ryan, to come out of nowhere.
Yeah, and the Times had a line that I liked that underlines why this is such a story that won't go away, which was nobody's been able to explain how he made his 9-figure income. Mm-hmm. There's no one else that I know of who has a 9-figure net worth where you cannot begin to explain it.
No.
And so when people are like, well, I think that he may have had some connections to into the Intel world, because how else do you accidentally land on a 9-figure wealth and build a mansion with a bunch of cameras everywhere, and then invite a bunch of powerful people over to do compromising things? Like, give me something more logical, more obvious than that.
Yeah, it's a conspiracy theory to believe it's something else.
Yes, then we'll entertain the other theory. Give me something. Where do you get the money?
The real conspiracy theory is that Les Wexner was having expert money management services from Jeffrey Epstein.
From this high school teacher.
Yeah, but has, of course, never addressed that or anything at all. Yes, absolutely. Well, we also have Donald Trump responding to some questions here yesterday on Epstein. We can go ahead and roll A3.
And I think he probably wants to make sure that, people that should not be involved or aren't involved are not hurt by something that would be very, very unfortunate, very unfair to a lot of people.
Were you aware of, and did you personally approve the prison transfer for Ghislaine Maxwell that your Justice Department?
I didn't know about it at all. No, I read about it just like you did.
And do you believe that she is
It's not a very uncommon thing.
Do you believe that she's credible to be listening to? Your Deputy Attorney General sat down with her recently.
Well, let me tell you, he's a very talented man. His name is Todd Blanche. He's a very legitimate person, very high, I just a very highly thought of person, respected by everybody.
Okay, so that's Trump referring obviously to Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche, who conducted those interviews with Ghislaine Maxwell over a 2-day period where she was seen hauling a box away from the discussions back into her prison. She is now in a lower security prison in Texas, which has been covered on the show as well. So Trump is saying, Ryan, that Blanche, and I think we actually all understand that this is true. It's obviously going to be the case that in the, quote, Epstein files, whatever form they are, there will be names of people who are not implicated in child sex trafficking.
He had one name in particular on his tongue.
Can
Donald
you imagine?
Trump.
Yeah,
Yes.
Can you imagine?
We don't want people like Donald Trump, whose name might be in there,
No.
being unfairly tarred by what we might release. So let's go ahead and not release anything.
And we know that his name was among a group of names that was being sort of actively redacted by Justice Department lawyers who were working around the clock, apparently, in the last several months to try to release something because Pam Bondi sort of realized this was part of her portfolio. She would have to do something on it, but there were a lot of redactions being made. The problem is, Ryan, we have so little information from the government that we can't trust that the government is redacting the names. And that's the most obvious point. I mean, when can you ever trust that they're redacting names of people who are just innocent?
It's innocent.
Yeah, so that's a little bit of the issue is, if you're asking for that benefit of the doubt, I don't think anybody's really in the mood to give it to you.
No. But if you're the president, then you can do everything you can to withhold the stuff, as long as you possibly can. And so the DOJ did, under pressure, meet with Ghislaine Maxwell to hear her out. They're just negotiating over better prison conditions and a better prison. What she can get and what she can give. That conversation was recorded, put up A4. There's now conversation about whether or not the Trump administration will release transcript of this hearing, or this meeting, which, as you said, Maxwell is objecting to. You can put up A5 saying no way.
Yep.
Like do not want to see this happen. Interesting if they're already going to be at odds with Maxwell.
Yes. Very, very interesting. And also interesting, I mean, obviously, that they are, according to CNN, debating whether or not to release this. So this is from CNN's reporting. The administration's handling of the Epstein case, as well as the need to craft a unified response, is expected to be a main focus of the dinner, 3 sources familiar with the meeting told CNN. So this is apparently a meeting that's happening tonight at the vice president's mansion in D.C. So at the Naval...
Yeah, a little Naval Observatory.
The Naval Observatory, that's right. In Washington, and they're going to be, so this is CNN says, with the exception of Vance, the White House considers those officials the leaders of the administration's ongoing strategy regarding the Epstein files, 2 of the sources said. So we can expect Susie Wiles, Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, and Todd Blanche himself to be at this meeting. And CNN reports there have also been internal discussions about Blanche holding a press conference or doing a high-profile interview, possibly with popular podcaster Joe Rogan, because that went so well for Kash Patel. This is what's happening right now and is being debated behind the scenes. The Justice Department, according to CNN's reporting, is digitizing, transcribing, and redacting the interview materials. Those are related to Ghislaine Maxwell. And they're actually debating whether or not to publicly release information from the Maxwell interview. There's over 10 hours of audio, according to a senior administration officials, and, quote, portions of that transcript could reveal sensitive details like victim names would also have to be redacted, according to one of the officials. Just a little additional tidbit here from CNN. They say one official told them, these are all unnamed officials, of course, that some of the conversation within the White House is focused on whether making the details from the interview public would bring the Epstein controversy back to the surface. Many officials close to Trump believe the story has largely died down. What world are they living in, Ryan, where the story has largely died down and you have both coverage in conservative media and the New York Times running, for example, new details and new images? It's kind of still across the board.
And new polling out shows Trump down to 39% among men, which is rock bottom maybe ever for him among men. And so the entire Barry Weiss kind of universe has been out saying, don't believe the podcast bros when they tell you that people care about Epstein. That it's fine. Trump can weather this storm. Nobody actually cares about Epstein. What's he down at 39% over? I mean, obviously there's a lot of other problems that Trump is facing right now, headwinds all over the place. But this is, to say that he's at rock bottom among men while this has been the dominant story in the media that men listen to for the last month.
And young men.
Is absurd, yeah.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I think it's true that some of the Russia collusion details have sucked up some oxygen in the media. That's exactly, Trump at one point said, what was this, 2 weeks ago, the witch hunt you should be looking at when he was asked about Epstein is what happened to me during the Russia collusion investigation. Of course, both these things can be true at the same time, but they're not wrong. Some of the oxygen has been sucked out of the room in conservative media. And I think, in some cases, these stories are very important to cover, but that doesn't mean the story has faded to the background at all. I mean, you still see it. People are still talking about it. It's still high profile. And it would be a mistake, I think, probably to assume that it's over and that it's, this is the end of the line for Epstein. We can all just move on if they don't talk about it.
Right. Yeah. Good luck with that.
Ryan, we have Martin Gottsfeld.
Yes.
Right? So we can bring him in.
Former inmate who served in the MCC, where Epstein also served. And we're going to run through the IG report that was originally put out, which was published before we had the footage of the cameras in the MCC. So we're going to compare Martin's experience in there with the cameras with the IG report.
Let's get into it.
Hey, if you like that video, hit the like button or leave a comment below. It really helps get the show to more people.
And if you'd like to get the full show ad-free and in your inbox every morning, you can sign up at breakingpoints.com.
That's right. Get the full show, help support the future of independent media at breakingpoints.com.